Good evening, everyone, on the MYBC Consulting Facebook page. It's been a couple of weeks that I've been able to go Facebook Live with some authors, and tonight we have an illustrator. So you know the purpose of this whole MYBC Virtual Bookstore Author Series is to bring together creative people that have written books, published books, or maybe illustrated books. So I am super duper excited tonight to have Devan Christian and Hope Booth. And I'm going to remember this right off the top because I always say it about 20 minutes in. During this little chitty chat we're going to have, if you've got any questions for either Devan or Hope during this process, please put them in the Facebook message or a Facebook comment, and Devan and Hope will come back and answer any questions. I do like to stay present for the people that I chitty chat with because they're the gift for me in this present. So welcome the two of you. I haven't had two people on before at once on my little show here.
Thanks for having us, Jenna. I'm so excited.
And so why don't we start with Devan? Devan, what is your background?
I'm a registered clinical counselor. I've been a counselor since 2015, originally from Langley, where actually I have an introduction into Hope, and now live in Chilliwack. And I have a private practice out here, and I work for Fraser Health for the public mental health system as well.
Oh, already whenever I hear stuff, I start unpacking it to ask them the future questions. So Hope, please tell us about yourself.
My name's Hope. I just graduated from Langley Fine Arts School this year. I was a drama major, surprisingly enough, for illustrating a book. But I've done like art classes there forever. And now I'm going to SFU in the fall for their science program.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so good. And I know Hope through her mom. Her Shannon Todd Booth is very visible in where we live, in the Langleys. With the Langley Hospice Society, and shout out to your mom because she just announced she's the executive director. So a little clapping for Shannon tonight. So Devan, have you always wanted to write a book?
Never. I actually avoided the thesis in my master's program because I so did not want to do research and writing a book. It was never my passion. And here I am. I've written a book.
So what was the rationale for you wanting to write the book? And tell everybody the title of your book, please.
Yeah, so the book is titled I Am A to Z, The Many Qualities of Me. And honestly, I had my first child. My daughter was born in April of 2021. And very quickly after she was born, this book presented itself to me. I had it in my head. I was writing it down. I just needed her to know about it. And so originally, I just wanted to create a book for her so that she could have it and have all of these wonderful things that she knew about herself, and kind of dabbled in the process and figured out how to make the book. And ages later, here we are with a book that is out there in the universe for anybody to buy.
Oh, that's so cool. And who would you say is the audience to this book? Like who I know I normally ask this at the end, but it's prompting now, is who needs to have this book or to read this? Is it for a child to read, or is it for a parent to read? Like who reads this book out?
I mean, ideally, I wrote it for children, for kind of ages, probably about 8 and under, but also in the work that I do and working with so many adults who haven't really had the most support growing up, or who still struggle with their self-esteem and self-confidence, you know, I really do recommend that anybody could read this book. And I hope that parents actually get some support through it as they read it to their children and know that they also possess all of these wonderful qualities. It's not just contributed to children. I truly believe we're all kind of born with these, and that if our kids know about it, my hope is that as they grow up, they don't struggle as much as maybe our generation or the generations before us, because they know it. They're just confident in it. It's instilled in them. They've been told about it since they were really small. And it's something that they just understand and believe. There was never a question about it because everyone always told them, you have this. And it's not something you had to find on their own.
Love that. So Hope, how did you get involved with this project? And you've got a copy of the book. So if you can kind of show everybody the front cover, because we've got some artwork.
I'll turn off the thing.
Your background.
Things here. Give me 2 seconds.
That's okay.
Do things. It's being weird.
If you hold it in front of your chest, hope we can see it.
Yeah, perfect. Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, perfect. So we've
Please.
got some artwork on the front of the book, and I love the font, by the way. It's very approachable. Who decided the font? Devan, you or Hope? Hope did. Oh, okay. So how did you get involved with this incredible book?
well, actually, my mom. So Devin mentioned that she was looking for an artist, and my mom saw that mention and sent her a link to my Instagram profile for my art account. It's like sketchy.hb. And she saw that and then contacted me through there.
Oh, so, okay, I'm trying to, what does the relationship, there's so much I want to unpack here. It's so good. So what kind of questions, Devan, did you ask of Hope to be your illustrator to make sure your story was brought to life in the images or the imagery that you wanted? What kind of questions did you ask her?
I mean, I don't know if I asked a whole lot. I asked Hope if she'd be open to joining me because I'm not an illustrator and I had nowhere to go. And the only really guideline that I had is that I didn't want it to be humans as the characters or one character, because I didn't want children to be isolated based on gender or gender identity, gender expression, race, ethnicity. I wanted any child to be able to identify with this and to look at it and see that everybody and anything can have these qualities. And I loved that Hope came back right off the bat with animals. And then she actually paired the animals with the letter, which I didn't even think about. And it was the best addition. I was so thrilled.
So with the brief, that's what they call it, I've been told, when you get a project, Hope, with somebody. So in the brief, she's saying no humans, and you chose animals. Why animals, and why the progression or your thought process of connecting it with the letters?
Well, I don't know. When I think not humans, my automatic thought is either like animals or mythological creatures. And honestly, it's probably easier to go to animals, which is something kids recognize and enjoy, like seeing all the time. Or at least that is what it is with my little cousins. And then by pairing it with the letter, it just gives another example of how kids can learn from the book as well, and like relate thoughts and like take into account all these things, because that's what kids do.
And what was the check-ins like? So okay, so Devan, explain to me, you've got it written. Did you just throw it down to Hope? Like, what did that look like? And then what was the expectation of check-ins of Hope back to you during the process? Because I know, like, I'm a chef by trade, and when I create a recipe, I want it to get to the very end and it's got to look the way like the picture in the recipe book looks like, kind of thing. So what did that whole process look like of checking in with a partner to get this book out?
Well, the beautiful part about social media and the internet is we actually just did everything over Instagram messages. And so I had emailed, correct me if I'm wrong, Hope, but I think I had emailed or texted her just a couple of the first letters and said, hey, what do you think of this book? Are you interested? And then Hope came back to me with the first couple of images. I love them so much. I emailed her the PDF of the book. And then one by one, as the pictures were created, she sent them to me. We would talk if there needed to be any changes or slight adjustments. And we just kept going until it was done.
Oh, beautiful. So talk to us about the font you chose, Hope, for the book.
Well, so I have this app called Procreate, which is where I do all my digital artwork and stuff. And in it, they have like probably almost 100 different fonts.
Mm-hmm.
So as I was going through all the fonts that I was looking at, I kind of just looked for one that would be approachable and kind of childlike without having to be like too harsh on anything. And one that I could adjust the thickness of and kind of for expression of it. So I just went through all of them, tested what I thought of them, and then just like till I found one that I was like, oh, there we go. And then I just rolled with it.
I'm loving this process. So now let's go to D. Let's go to D for Devan and find out the quality that begins with a D. So you've got the book, Hope. It's on you.
Turning the pages, turning the pages.
No pressure.
Determined.
Ah, that's perfection. So can you read what it says, Hope, please? What is determined all about?
It says, I am determined when, I disappeared. I am determined when I put my mind to something, I work to achieve it.
Ah, and we've got a dog and it's bouncing a ball, trying to catch a ball. That's awesome. I love, okay, so how did you picture or create that picture? Like, why the dog jumping with the ball and the other balls behind him? Like, where did that come from?
Well, the inspiration for the photo actually comes from my Auntie Kay's dog named Libby, who is the most determined dog you've ever met. Once you put a toy in front of her, she will go after that thing for hours and want you to play with her for hours. So I was like, a dog and a toy. That's, well, a dog with a bone. Once they go after it, they're the most determined thing. It's the whole expression of being a dog with a bone. So I just kind of went like, oh, and then dogs playing catch, they always keep trying to get the ball no matter how many times you throw it. So
Devan, I see your thread of an adult reading this book from Choosing D, and just as Hope read that, because as we get older, us older people, we tend to live our lives by different quotes that we hear, and that what Hope just said about determination, about a dog on a bone, and those are kind of old sayings that get a point across. So I can see how this book is very much can be geared towards an adult. So let's go on to Jay. Hope, did you know you were going to be a narrator today other than a illustrator? What is Jay?
Jay is I am jolly.
100%. 100%.
Others describe me as happy and cheerful.
Oh, yeah. And look at me. I'm a little jellyfish. I love jellyfish. If anybody's been down to the Vancouver Aquarium and like just stood there for hours and hours and hours.
My favorite.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, let's go on to H for Hope.
Ah, it's flipping pages in different directions. There we go. I am honest. I speak and act truthfully.
So why a horse?
Well, a horse starts the letter H, so
Yes.
I was, there you go. And horses just seem like, if you're ever a little kid and you see this giant horse, it's like this very like big sight in front of you. Like you're definitely a character, and horses act how they feel for sure. If you've ever seen horses throw a temper tantrum, like, no, I do not want that. They're very honest.
They are, as well as, again, for that adult spin on it, through the horse's mouth, spoken through the horse's mouth, and a horse never lies. Never lies. It can't get its work done and lie at the same time. Oh my gosh, what, like, beautiful. Absolutely, what a beautiful collaboration of this book. So I ask you, Devan, is there another book tucked inside your beautiful head?
I've been asked this so many times. I'm not sure, maybe if a second baby comes along, I might be inspired again, or as my daughter grows, I might want to do something. I really am proud of myself for being able to do this, and really thankful for all the support from my husband and my family and friends that helped me along the way. And it was a fun experience. It was a really busy experience trying to do this while before my daughter's first birthday was the deadline. So yeah, being on mat leave for the first time, a first-time mom, that was a really big endeavor to take over. And I'm not sure I would advise others to do that as well. But yeah, I'll never say never. I've learned that lesson. So maybe one day, but I'm not going to hold my breath on it.
So it leads me to the question that your daughter now, if she was born April 2021, she's about what, 17 months, 18 months old, now really comprehending words. Comprehending words. How have you been utilizing this book that was written for her in her upbringing?
What was pretty surprising to me was, as soon as it came, we got our first copy in the mail. I had just put it on the top shelf where she can't reach it, and she could see it, which I thought was interesting because it's white and the banister's white where I'd put it, and I didn't really think she'd notice. And she kept trying to go for it and kept trying to go for it. And I was holding it back until her birthday. And then it was on her birthday and I gave her the book. And it's actually been one of her most favorite books. And it was nothing of intention, and it was everything from her. So that was a super humbling experience. experience, that like all this hard work that Hope and I did was for exactly the reason I wanted it to be.
Beautiful.
And it's so fun to watch her, like, out of all of her big library of books, to pick out the one that I made for her, to come and sit with me and want to read it and say the noises of the animals and look at all the pictures. Like, it's a really cool experience. I'm really loving it. And I'm so looking forward when she grows up, how she understands what I did in making this book for her.
So has there been a word that has really resonated with her that you're seeing, or a couple of the words, the qualities in the book that you're seeing in your daughter since reading and she understands?
I wish I could say it's a word. Right now it's really like, oh, cat, dog,
Oh,
horse.
okay.
So she gets really excited about Hope's pictures. She thinks they're the coolest things. She always picks up the picture and then points and then sees the bear and says, "Rawr." So it's so sweet. I don't know if she's quite understanding the words that I'm reading to her yet, but she definitely loves the photos. So I'm very appreciative of Hope's design.
So Hope, if Devan came a knocking, would you answer the door?
For sure. As
Yeah.
long as I'm not drowning in schoolwork, absolutely.
Have you ever
I won't do
thought
that
of-
to you, Hope.
Yeah, true enough, considering what you shared with us before we came on, what you're going to school for, I think your nose is going to be buried in a lot of books coming up for is it a 4-year program or how long a program were you?
Like 4 years about, yeah.
Yes, wow. So ladies, I love to wrap this up with asking each one of you, we'll start with Hope. Hope, of your generation, because we've got your generation, we've got Devan's generation, we've got my generation represented here tonight. Of your generation, who do you think would benefit by being gifted this book?
I think anybody really. I mean, with my generation, we have probably a lot of social media and we see all these things in people and we don't really look at ourselves as much unless we're overanalyzing. But like, even just looking at the qualities, like, yes, people are all of these things, being able to appreciate those in yourself and even in like a kid's book in a fun way is meaningful for anyone in that sense, I think.
I love that. Okay, so Devan, you're a little bit older. So you come up with 3 people that you believe should be gifted this book.
I think any young toddler would be a great piece to receive this book because they'd be about that age to be starting to understand it. Kids starting school, I think, would be another step up, right? As they start to learn from other people and have new experiences where they see people who might be different from them or have different lives than them. In any direction. And so just being able to feel confident in themselves. And then anybody, even as parents, and adults, right? If you are struggling with your own self-esteem or your own self-confidence, to be able to take a moment, the book is a fairly easy read, I hope. Spend 5 minutes and read the book and just see if you can start with one positive quality about yourself and start to grow your confidence from there. You might not believe that you hold all of them all at this time, right? There's 26 qualities in there for 26 letters. But maybe if you tried one at a time and just sat with it and kind of found ways in your life that you have that quality and started to show yourself that, oh, actually, I do hold this quality. It does exist in me. I wonder what other ones might exist too. And start to build that so that you can build your own self-esteem, your own self-confidence, and then see what the world looks like with a different lens about how you view yourself.
Oh, I love that. Hope, would you mind opening up again, say to any one of the letters that we shared? I want to keep it just to the 3 that we shared so people buy the book too.
First one, the one
Okay.
thing of the alphabet.
I just want to say, when I see that, there's a lot of white space, and that the idea of the adult grabbing this book and being able to use it as a bit of a journal. There's a lot of space that they could write, or if they're sharing this with their child, is saying, what did you do today? Like, you could use it together. What did I do today that I was determined to do, and share that with your child? What were you determined today that you did? And that you can kind of write in that white space. That would be, to me, a beautiful way, because we know our children tend to mirror, or, you know, monkey see, monkey do, and they might have saw and went, wow, if that's what determined looks like. So they then have a point of reference and bringing it all to life. So I wanted to see how much white space was there. So thank you, Hope, for opening the book back up again. I would also say new parents make a great baby gift. I would say it needs to be into any place that has nursery equipment, you know, or nursery stuff, would be a great. I would also say for social workers, it would be great for, especially maybe a teen mom, you know, the centers that we have here in town, or anywhere, or, for that matter, around the world. And then somebody, I would say an interior decorator. And the reason why I say that is being able to buy 2 copies and break up the pictures and frame them to go in a baby's room, or to go, or a classroom, is to buy 2 copies because you're back to front, and maybe put them to decorate a classroom with. So for a teacher is what I think off the bat as well, that to be able to utilize it, because it's fantastic. One question I did forget to ask. So how did you publish this?
So that was a long journey of figuring that out through different Facebook groups and Google searches. I did end up publishing the book through Amazon, KDP, so folks can just order it right on Amazon. It prints in their country and delivers right away. It's not being shipped from Canada or even my home. And then I did end up buying a few books just to give as gifts and have for folks around here. So I bought those through another company and they shipped them over.
Okay, so I will wrap this up and we'll start with Hope. So Hope, what's your words of wisdom to people that are artists and illustrators to working with authors?
I don't know, just be open to collaboration and others' ideas and input on the work you do, because the result always turns out even better than you thought it might from starting.
Love that. So Devan, to those people out there that go, you know, I want to write a kid's book, I want to write a cookbook, I want to write my memoir, or want to write that next bestseller fiction book, what would you say about becoming an author?
I would say just go for it, right? Write it out, even if it's your own draft and it doesn't make sense and it's not all whole, just write out those beautiful ideas down on paper and then figure out how you're going to do your steps. There's tons of online support groups that help you do it. And I'm the first to say, I did not follow all of the advice. I did not have somebody like pre-read it. I didn't have a small group to give me feedback on it. It was a collaboration between me and Hope, and the things that we wanted to say and the things that I wanted to share. And that was the part that I love, is I actually didn't spend all of this time and years waiting for this book to come out. It was a goal of mine to get it done in under 8 months, and I got it done. I'm super happy with it. Is it perfect? No. Could I have written things a little bit differently? Absolutely. But that's okay. That's the beauty of it, right? I am not perfect, and perfect is not one of the descriptors in the book.
You mean P isn't for perfect as a quality?
It is not. No, it's for persistence.
Love that.
So it's just recognizing that you can do things. And honestly, one of the best things I did, I didn't want to hire somebody who was already this well-known artist. I wanted to hire somebody who was up and coming, who had a new vision, who had never done this before, someone local. And I was so thrilled when Hope was wanting to do this, and Shannon had connected us, because Hope was everything I wanted it to be. And so, you know, try somebody new. That's my biggest suggestion for folks, is give somebody new a shot, because they're going to blow you away.
And I'm going to add to those authors that are out there is how I found Devan. Is Devan boldly put a post out about 6 or 7 weeks ago on social media about her book. And one of my friends, Hope's mom, put a comment underneath about how, I can't remember how proud she was, or way to go, or it was such a beautiful book. And because I follow Shannon and I get alerted of what Shannon's doing, and I reached out to Devan and I went, oh my gosh, Devan, I interview authors. I'd love to have you on my show. And Devan's persistence of follow-up was amazing, and immediately connecting with me and sending me a direct message So you authors out there, make it a social connection versus social media. And the magic will happen as you build relationship with people, as I like to say, to the four corners of this incredible round world. So I don't believe anymore that they say pride cometh before the fall. I believe that pride cometh before others are there to pick you up if you think you're going to fall. If you think you're going to fall. So thank you, Devan and Hope, for being my guests today on the MYBC Virtual Bookstore Authors Series. It's been my absolute joy to listen, my jolly self, to listen to both of you and how this collaboration came to be. I always love to say my little saying at the end is grab that book off the bookshelf, grab your favorite beverage, tuck yourself into the corner of your couch or chair, your favorite reading place. Take your mind, body, and soul to another place through the words of others. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night. I won't be here next week because I have a little event for my company, but I'll be back in 2 weeks with another author. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.